What is one piece of advice that you would give someone who's buying a car for the first time ever?
For the first time,
Well, you and I are going to a car dealership today. But first, we're gonna have some tea because it's really cold outside and we are walking to the car dealership, okay? As I was making my tea, I remember that I know so many people who for breakfast, they can only have one coffee and that's it, and they're fine. One coffee and they're fine. Like if I had a coffee for breakfast, just one coffee, I would die. I don't know, people who could have just one coffee for breakfast, I don't know. It's very psychopath behavior to me. This is chamomile apple. All right, so I am not going to lie to you and say that thinking about buying a car is so exciting to me. At first, I was so overwhelmed by it. I was getting very nervous because I don't know anything about cars, let alone buying a car. And I was so overwhelmed by the thought of not knowing what to do that I cried one day. I cried so much. I was like, I don't know. Everybody gives me different advice. This is so overwhelming. The prices are different. Like, I don't know anything about cars. What do I need to look for? Blah, blah, blah. Plus, I need to buy a used car. So that has its advantages and disadvantages. So I was very frustrated. And then one day I said, okay, enough feeling sorry for yourself. No one's coming to do the work for you. No one's coming to save you, to help you, to do the work for you. You need to do it yourself. So I went online and I started looking at like things that are important to know about buying a car. And then because some of the specifications of the cars are like, okay, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. So I started looking for that. And then I realized that, okay, so 4 cylinders, that would mean that they would be better with gas than a 6-cylinder car. 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Okay, so when they have winter tires, it means that this and that is more, they'll provide like more grip, and stuff like that I just had to start looking online. And now, today, we're going to talk to a dealer and we're going to talk about financing or like buying the car cash. I don't know. We're going to see our options. What are our options today? I'm still nervous though because I still feel like I don't have control over anything that's coming, and I like to know what I'm doing, and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But you know what? It's okay to not know what you're doing. Make mistakes, make your choices, make decisions, and then down the road you'll be like, okay, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the best decision, or maybe that turned out to be a great decision. Who knows? Right? I don't think I'm gonna be able to make any videos as I'm walking there because it's snowing and the snow is gonna get in my camera, so probably not. But I'll try to record as much as possible and try to show you a little bit about Stratford. We're walking there. We're gonna meet a guy called Colin and we'll see what he has to say. Here's a little mural in an alley located close to where I live. I wish I could show you more around, but honestly, it's so cold and my hands are freezing. Well, I'm kind of screwed because I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see because there are a lot of cars right now. But there's no sidewalk. Walking is such a bad idea. Should take a freaking cab. And this is what happens when you don't look at your GPS before you leave home. But a little bit of cardio doesn't hurt anyone, right? And we made it. Whew. And now we're getting ready to take this car for a drive, but somebody forgot to bring her driver's license. So now I'm just making sure that everything looks good and we're getting ready to go pick it up. Sorry. No, my shoes are dirty. I can't come in. I am so sorry. I just had to come get my license. Sorry, baby. Sorry. I'll be back.
Because you've told me that your credit score is amazing, and also you have a great steady work history, so you should be able to qualify. I'm not concerned about you getting financing.
How many years of steady work do I need to show in order to be able to be approved?
So, like, I'm not in the finance department, but you're telling me you've got 3 years of steady pay stubs to show. So yeah, I'm not concerned. I mean, that's going to be more than adequate.
What is one piece of advice that you would give someone who's buying a car for the first time ever?
For the first time, I would say that you want to be comfortable and secure with your purchase. So, take the time that you need to look at all the options. Visit different dealerships so you find somebody that you like working with, that you trust, that would make you feel comfortable and relaxed during the process, and make sure that you what's the word that you're not anxious about the process of buying a vehicle. That you feel comfortable and confident that you're making the right decision.
That's solid advice. What was the first car you ever bought?
The first car I ever bought was a very old car when I was very young. I was 16 when I first got my license. So I bought an old Chevrolet Monza.
Monza? Do they make them anymore?
No, they don't make them. No, it's like a classic 70s little Chevy car.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna show it on the screen. Okay, awesome, Colin. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
I am definitely going to think about this, and I'm going to consider the financing of it, because I thought honestly that I couldn't finance because I didn't have a permanent job. But now that I've talked to you, I have a better idea of like what I can and cannot do. This is
so the next step would be to do a credit application. So you would just come back to the dealership and sit down with the finance manager, and we would put the deal together, and then he would do an application to a chartered bank, and then you would see whether you were approved or not, at what interest rate and what terms.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
Well, that was such a great experience. This is the first time I'm doing this. It's the first time I take a car for a drive for myself. It's the first time I sit down with someone to talk about finances or financing a car, or what buying a car entails, what financing a car requires, etc. So I am very, very happy about this. The car itself is way over my budget. It's like $6,000 over my budget. So I don't think that that's the best financial decision for me. I'm going to keep looking. But one thing that I did like was that Colin was super helpful, and I really had a good experience. I had no rush. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel any kind of awkwardness. He was super friendly. And I guess that's all you ask whenever you're doing something for the first time, right? That it's comfortable and that you don't feel weird. So now I'm going to ask you the same question I asked him. What is the best piece of advice that you could give someone who's buying a car for the first time? Did you want to say hi, Coco? Come here. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Oh, goodness. What is the best piece of advice you could give someone, Coco? What is it? Treats? Just get more treats. Okay. I'll read your answers in the comments. Bye.